The Obama campaign complained to the station, and Senator Biden said this.
I was on a television station the other day and doing a satellite feed to a major network in Florida. And the anchor quotes Karl Marx and says, in a sense, isn't Barack Obama Karl Marx? You know, I mean, folks, this stuff you're hearing in this campaign, some of it's pretty ugly, and some of the innuendo is pretty ugly.
Joining us now from Orlando, the very controversial Barbra West. Did you go into the interview with a mindset like you're going to go after Biden?
No, Bill, I didn't. I went into the interview with the mindset that we had some serious questions and serious issues in this country that need to be answered, and we're running out of time to getting the answers to those issues.
But you used some buzzwords like Marxism. I thought your questions were fine. I don't know whether I would have phrased him quite that way, because you gave him a little wiggle room to do a couple of things. There's no doubt that income redistribution is controversial, and I brought it up with Barack Obama myself. But he wanted to paint you as a far-right person just by the tone of your questions. You see what he wanted to do?
Yes, indeed. I think that he would like to still do that, but I am not. I am a reporter who works for a television station that asks probing, penetrating, straightforward, challenging questions. That is our job, and I'm very surprised if I'm the only reporter over Senator Biden's career who's asked such questions of him or of Barack Obama. Now,
did you get a chance to interview McCain? Has he come on?
Yes, in fact, today I interviewed Senator McCain again, and I think if people want to go onto our website and see the full interview, they will see that it's just as probing of Senator McCain as well.
What was the toughest question, Barbara, you asked of McCain today?
Actually, I think the toughest question that I asked him was asking him about his own campaign and his management of his own campaign. Obama's campaign is so organized and so well put together and such a well-oiled machine, and yet even now, this late in the campaign, Senator McCain's campaign still seems to not have it together. If we're looking for a person to hold the chief executive job in this nation, and this campaign is the audition for it, well, then what would we be thinking about Senator McCain's abilities?
So when you told McCain his campaign was disorganized, what did he say to you?
Well, he kind of laughed a little bit about it and said that he did not believe that it was disorganized, and that you know, things will happen in campaigns as you move through things,
right.
But they're working very hard to try to get their message out and that sort of thing.
Okay, so you were equally as tough on McCain as you were on Biden, you say, right? You thought it was equally as tough?
I believe so. I also asked him if there was a rift now between himself and Sarah Palin, that she seems to be drifting away from the typical talking points, and is that indicative of her thinking that maybe this is already a lost cause and she really needs to think about her own future?
And of course he denied that and said they're all together in simpatico. But good for you. I mean, good for you. That's what you should be doing. Now, the reaction of your viewers in Orlando, Florida to the Biden situation, you must have taken a little heat on that.
I've taken some heat, but I would say I've received in the neighborhood of about 12,000 emails just today, and I by far haven't been able to read through them all, but just looking at the titles of the emails, they're generally supportive.
Yeah,
in fact,
people who
I would
don't
say
like,
right now,
right, the people who support McCain are going to, trust me when I tell you, it'll break down along party lines. But I think Biden overreacted to your questions and should have just answered them and then gone on his way and not brought you up later. You did your job. I didn't have any problem with it.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think that we should be doing our jobs, and it's important to get the answers from these candidates now rather than after the election. This is the most important election, I believe, of our lifetime. Back in 1979, 1980, I worked in London for Peter Jennings when he was chief foreign correspondent. And, Bill, if you'll remember, that's when 52 Americans were being held hostage for more than 400 days in Iran.
Right. And you did the right thing, so we appreciate you get the factor stamp of approval. Ms. West, thank you. Directly ahead, Geraldine Ferraro will tell us how she would answer the Marxist question, and then